when my school was broken into. This isn't really an interesting story, but when I was in second grade, we had a lockdown because apparently there was a dangerous person on campus. My friend, who let's call Sarah, came to school late that day, and when she came into our classroom, she was escorted by an officer. None of us knew what was going on, but when the officer came in, we knew it was something serious. One of my classmates started crying and we were all really mad at him, because we didn't want to attract attention. When we were hiding in different places in the classroom, Sarah was sitting next to me, and she was whispering the whole story of what had happened when she came in. She said that the whole school had been surrounded by police officers. She told me that her mom had told her that someone in their neighborhood had been robbed, and I suddenly got curious to why her mom had dropped her off if there was a criminal in the neighborhood. She told me that she didn't know, but I was kind of suspicious about her story. Eventually we were sitting there for hours and I had to go use the bathroom. My teacher had Sarah go with me, and when we got there, I was using the bathroom, and suddenly I heard loud footsteps. I didn't think that it was Sarah, because she was smaller than me and didn't make much noise. I suddenly felt very scared. When I got out of the stall, Sarah was gone. As soon as I saw Sarah was gone, I got really scared that something bad had happened to her. I rushed back to my classroom and informed my teacher about what happened. My teacher called the principal and he came with 3 officers. He asked me to repeat the story and I told them. The next thing I knew, a bunch of officers were going around the building, inside and out, looking for Sarah. The rest of the class had been listening to what I had told the principal, and some of my other friends looked really scared. One of them started crying because they were also friends with Sarah. We all gave her a hug and one of the boys in my class, let's call him Danny, started yelling at my friend to be quiet and that she was such a baby. Me and my friends started yelling at Danny to leave her alone. We heard footsteps in the hallway, but we ignored them, assuming it was our teacher or some of the officers. We kept arguing and yelling at each other until the door opened to the classroom. We all became silent because we didn't want to get scolded by our teacher, but when the person walked in, it wasn't my teacher. It was a man wearing all black. We all knew he wasn't an officer because he wasn't wearing a uniform. At that moment I realized that there was 99% chance I was staring at the criminal who we were supposed to be hiding from. Okay, next story. So me and my friends got this genius idea that we should start a clothing group in Roblox, and we joined this game that you advertise your group and people join you. So these 2 guys came up to us and said, "Do you need game makers?" OFC, we were on FaceTime and were debating if we did, and obviously we said yes. So we told them yes and they said only if you pay us, and I said sure, not knowing how I would. So they friended us and started a group chat with them. They said okay, we will start making the clothing store, and we asked if we could see them build it, and they left us on read. After 10 minutes they asked for our Discord and my friend gave it to them and then they said they were done. So they invited us to see it and it was this huge clothing store and it looked like it would take days to make. So we looked around and started seeing really strange types of things in it, like underground and outside and stuff, but we didn't really suspect anything. So then we started talking by ourselves and then we started suspecting if they actually built it, and then we realized that they probably didn't. So we unfriended them and started playing an OP game. Then they joined us, and we didn't have our follow joins on. They said we will take this to court and we were really scared, and since we were pretty young we took it seriously. Then we said you scammed us and they said duh. Then I said well, we will get a lawyer, and then we left. Started making another account so they don't track us down and stuff. OFC, we use our original accounts now, but to this day they still try to friend us on Discord and they took over our group. When I was in 5th grade, one evening I was doing homework, and my parents decided to go on a date. They left me and my younger sister Elia home with a babysitter. Her name was Jamie, and at first, she kept saying really nice things to me and Elia, but after my parents left, she told us to go hang out in a room and to leave her the FCK alone. I was really surprised by this, and I really didn't want Elia to hear swear words, because she would probably say them, and then I would get in trouble for supposedly teaching them to her. That has happened before. I head to our room and Aliyah follows. We start playing Barbies. Anyway, about 30 minutes later, I hear the doorbell ring, so I go outside into the living room, and Jamie brought over this teen boy. I'm pretty sure it was her boyfriend, but I never really found out, and they started watching TV. I went to the kitchen to get a snacky, don't remember what I got, and then went back to the room Aliyah and I shared, feeling stupid to believe that Jamie had been a good person. My parents were pretty overprotective, so I didn't have a phone, and I couldn't call my parents. I started reading a book, and Aliyah kept playing Barbies. It was only 15 minutes later, when I heard my babysitter's phone ring, and I can hear her say hello? MRS. Jadi? What do you need? And my mom says something on the phone that I couldn't hear. Jaime's face goes white, and she says, Mira, Aliyah, get in the car. Now. I was super confused and had no idea what was going on. I kept asking her where we were going, but she kept hushing me. We drive up to the hospital, and I am still highly confused, and I was starting to get nervous while we were at the hospital. I forgot to write that her boyfriend went home when she was taking us there. She grabbed our hands and literally dragged us inside, and I scanned the lobby, looking around, when I spot my mom, sitting in a chair, shaking, crying uncontrollably. There is a nurse next to her who is trying to calm her down, and I tug out of Jaime's grasp and run over to her. When she sees me, she literally throws herself onto me and hugs me. I start panicking and I am still super confused. I ask her what was going on, and Jamie comes over with my sister and says to me, Mira, your dad. There was a car accident, and your parents' car was hit. Your dad. I remember my heart literally stopping and myself sliding to the ground slowly. Aliyah still didn't understand what was going on. Next story time. Here is why I'm afraid of going out with random people. One day it was late at night and I wanted to watch Netflix. Of course I could never find anything, but right when I found something, I heard the doorbell ring, so we answer, and it's this middle-aged woman. She didn't look poor or homeless. Don't judge me, wait until the end of the story to find out why I said that. So basically she was begging my stepdad to go down the street with her because apparently, a lady was yelling at her every time she went down to see her friend. By the way, it was 9:30 p.m. and if it want we were not going down, so my mother offers to call the police, but she declines and begs for my stepdad to go down until she's annoyed and leaves. We call the police out of suspicion, and apparently, this random woman walked around my neighborhood knocking on people's doors, specifically 7 houses, to get someone to go down with her. The cops were literally driving around my neighborhood to find her all night. But the scariest thing was that she would talk to herself every time she went to a new house, and guess what? The lady that yelled at her was never real. And she was a crazy homeless woman who wanted people to go down somewhere with her to do who knows what.